Hello!
Hey guys!
Happy Music Monday!
Woohoo!
We're here with Rob Jackson of Rent-A Records. How are you doing?
What's going on?
Out of New Jersey.
Jersey, yeah.
Jersey.
love your hoodie, by the way.
This is the most comfortable hoodie.
It's so fetch. Where'd you get it?
It's my camera's backwards. I just figured that out.
We got double logos though.
I got it on like this website and I don't know, some band, but awesome. It's
nice.
like it's perfect. It's so light and yet warm. It like defies science. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's cool and soft and
it's tremendous.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're very glad that you like the hoodie.
So,
highly recommend.
So tell us about yourself. What are
your strengths and weaknesses?
What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Do
you work well with others?
Yes, I do work well with others. I would say my strengths are, or superpower, if you will, is knowing where to go eat no matter where you are.
This is true. I can attest to this.
Yeah, so my one brother's in Nashville right now and the other one's in Florida. And I've completely like booked their entire vacation on where they're going and what they're doing. Mainly what they're eating because that's all they care about. But
Great. That's what we all care about.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You're hired. So tell us about everything you've been doing. You have a studio. You're also a drummer. For everyone listening in the chats, who is Rob?
So I've been drumming since I was 3 years old. I used to study with Joe Morello from the David Brubeck Quartet, along with a bunch of other drum instructors over the years. And my whole thing has always just been like learning as much as I can, like who I am and what I do, regardless of whether it's like music or food or whatever. My whole thing is like, I'm not someone to just kind of hire somebody else to do something for me. My whole thing is like, yeah, I'll pay you to do it, but I'm going to watch how you do it and learn how to do it. I've always been like a student of life, if you will. On the other side of that, a big part of what I love to do is like give that back. So I teach music. I'm currently branching into teaching on the culinary end with some new project things coming up and possibly a new video series that we're working on. And that's kind of me. So like I started playing drums and eventually I got so sick in like elementary school and middle school, like friends who also played instruments, we'd like jam out. And I'd be so sick of like going up to the guitar player and like, no, here, give me your guitar. It's like this. And then I learned how to play guitar. And then bass was just kind of for fun. But singing was like an absolute necessity. So many bands I was in and the singers could not sing. But then I was the drummer who sang behind the kit and no one like, it was like, wow, that's so freaking cool that he can do that. But no one musically respects the drummer as like the front man. Like it doesn't work. So
unless you're Night Ranger.
I guess, maybe. I mean, I haven't seen Night Ranger live, and I'm not Phil Collins. I mean, Dave Grohl's really cool. He's a hero of mine, absolutely. But
Zach Hansen.
Mel,
are you a Hansen fan?
I thought we weren't sharing secrets today. No.
Because the thing about Hansen fans are they're either really into Hansen or you don't care about Hansen. That's what I've learned about Hansen fans. Like they're like so into Hansen, or it's just like, okay, Hansen, which is how I am. But when you meet a Hansen fan, it's like, whoa. Are you like, whoa, Hansen?
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever met a Hansen fan that wasn't also equally as into Aaron Carter?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I feel like they go hand in hand for some weird reason.
I was obsessed with both.
I was gonna say, I know Mel's obsessed with Aaron Carter. Not obsessed.
I met him a bunch of times. I was a big teeny bopper.
Hi, Bruce.
Oh, hey, buddy.
He just like jumped.
Oh, where's Vera?
Vera's chilling right now. She was all excited when I started because so I put the hoodie on and my hat, and she's like, "Oh, are we going somewhere?" Because it's been literally weeks since we've gone anywhere. And I think now she's pissed because she sees like I'm doing stuff, and she's like, "All right, you're going to be here a while. I'm going back to bed." So she can either join us or I can go get her. That's her choice.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. We've got hello Carol and Steve, and yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them in. Why don't you tell us about Rent the Record Studio? I do have a wrong thing of what it's not. I don't know why I thought of this when I saw the name. I thought of like Blockbuster, but for vinyl, which is wrong. But I thought it was funny because I just saw like that documentary on like the last Blockbuster that exists, and I was like, I wonder if they could do that with vinyl. Like you rent vinyl for the week and then give it back.
That's kind of interesting.
I know, but that's not what your business is. So why don't you explain what it actually is?
Unfortunately. So Rent a Record actually started in 2010 as an idea. I was out on a tour with an indie artist as a drummer, and that guy kind of screwed everyone in the band over. It was a pretty serious letdown. And I came home to like not much going on, like left my job to tour, and and that was a long time ago and one of the first tours I went out on. So it was definitely a new experience. But at the same time, I had already gone to school for audio engineering, and it was something I loved to do. I had worked on records before and interned. And for me, I thought the biggest thing was there are so many musicians out there, just singer-songwriters, that don't have, access to solid drummers without going into a huge studio and paying ridiculous amounts of money to get session work done. So me as a music teacher at the time, and coming back from tour and all the musicians that I've networked with and know, it seemed like a really good idea to start pulling in all my friends that can do everything I can't and kind of put it all together and say, hey, well, I've got friends that teach cello and violin and like all different string instruments or brass instruments. And it would be so much better, especially this was like, what did I say, like 2010? Mm-hmm. Samples were not as good or readily available to home studios the way they are now. And even still, a real string quartet on your project is going to sound a million times better, right? So the kicker on top of that is not only do you have someone actually playing the instruments, but again, these are teachers who can write out all the sheet music for you. So you get your string piece and your sample mixed, mastered, ready to just drop right into your session. But you also get all of the music for it. So you can actually hire musicians down the road to go out and play this stuff live along with you if you need to. You have access and archive to your music, and that saves you a step, in the back end as well. But it just, drums, bass, keys, vocals, whatever. Rent a Record's whole purpose came out of kind of necessity at the time, but as an idea of, whatever the home musician needs to realize their project. And if it's just a song idea, like we have producers that will sit with you one-on-one and help you finish writing your song. If you play guitar, that's great. Send us the guitar tracks and we can literally have everything else done for you, mixed, mastered, sent back, and you're ready to publish it if you want to throw it up on a streaming service or press CDs. And we have graphic designers that do all the artwork for that because as much as I hate streaming services and think that they're totally ripping off artists, when you do put your media up there, you have to have original artwork. I'm sure you guys know. If you post up some picture that you get off the internet, they're going to turn it down. And now you're wasting like weeks trying to get your stuff even on the streaming service. So that's another, it's literally everything from idea to finished product with a nice package bow ready to sell. And that's what Rent a Record is. Wherever you are in the process, we're here to help you get to the finish line. And then on top of that, once the product is done, we do marketing management as well. And this is not entirely like just me doing all of this work, because that'd be absolutely insane. Especially with COVID in this past year, this was the perfect time to launch this project legitimately, because I have so many friends that are just not touring right now. So many artists are home and can't make money the way they normally do. We have an online merch store, but it's not the same as going to a show and actually picking up shirts. And artists that I've been on the road with, I mean, I know at least 3 bands that were literally leaving on March 14th last year. Their tour bus was already paid in advance. All of that merch was bought and loaded on the trailer. And now you've got tens of thousands of t-shirts that you can't sell, and you already paid for all of that. Like, what are you doing? I think a lot of people overlook how hard COVID has hit the music industry. And I'm sure you guys have talked about this a million times this year, doing this every Monday, but it's crazy. It's just so nuts. And for me, this was kind of a way of like giving those friends an opportunity at more work that they, normally wouldn't be doing, because any like serious musician that tours and actually does this for a living, I'm sure you guys do as well. Like, you have some kind of home studio to at least track demos. And if you can get decent takes, we can do the rest, or teach you how to at least get decent takes. We bring in that teaching aspect back into it as well, where, we're going to help you get the best quality recording you can get so that we can do what we need to do to make it a radio ready product.
Awesome.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. We actually were one of those bands. We had a show on March 14th. We were supposed to open for Bowling for Soup. We had all the merch ordered, ready to go, sitting in the van, and show got canceled.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everyone head out to jackknifestiletto.com/store and buy some shirts, please.
Look at that
Yes.
hoodie.
This hoodie is amazing. No,
Look
I'm
at
not
that
even
nice.
joking. I have like an affinity for like thin hoodies because I'm an absolute like bear. I like don't wear sleeves in the winter, kind of like, and it's weird because you would think like, a t-shirt and then a sleeveless t-shirt, like not much of a difference in temperature, but for like a big Italian dude, like it makes a difference. I think it does, at least.
I don't like coats either, so I.
But like,
I keep
this is,
extra
like,
coats in my closet to throw on Annie because she never wears a coat.
But I'm able to like clean the snow off my car in this thing. That's how warm it is. And yet at the same time, when I come inside, it's like tolerable. So that's a pretty big deal.
It's that in between,
It really
fabric.
does defy sun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
So you
this
guys get
point,
this
it's
one,
just like I don't even know where to put all the boxes. They're just
They're all
Enough to buy it.
exploding too.
I'm gonna have to buy a few more of these and stock up then.
So we actually got those shirts made by a friend of ours. His name is John Squarla, and he owns Superfly Screen Printing. And so if you know any bands who need merch, send them over to Superfly Screen Printing. And
Definitely.
makes hoodies and shirts and all kind of stuff. So
Oh, they want to know. Carol would like to know the link to your studio, so I'm just going to pop that up there again for you guys to check it out.
we need to add a little sound effect for that pop.
I can't do it. There you go.
I can never do that
Oh,
thing
hello,
when you
you're
like
joining us. Give me 1 second.
Rob, do that thing. I can never do that. I've tried so many times. Annie, can you do that?
Well, there's like the
When you, like-
inside one and the outside one. It's like, but then there's like a water one where you flick the inside of your cheek, and I don't know if I can do it right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one. The drop
It's kind
of
of-
water.
maybe-
We need lessons on those.
I'm just flicking my face and nothing's happening.
So
Forget about drum lessons and cooking lessons. I would just want lessons on how to make popping sound.
Vera has decided to join us.
Oh, there's your
Oh.
little god.
Hey,
Or
Pop.
girl. Girl?
Girl.
Girl. Yes.
She's the producer for the studio. Am I correct?
Yes,
So is
she is.
Bruce.
What does her job entail?
So people don't believe that this is a thing. I had a metal band in like 2 summers ago, and this was the most like obvious that this had happened. But
Someone's
Vera's
smoke
kind of
detector going off?
possibly. It's not my problem though. It's not my kitchen, not my problem.
Is it yours, Mel? No, I'm just kidding. Is it me?
No, I think it's on my end. It's probably Vera. It's fine. It's fine. So I forgot what we were saying.
What's Vera's job description?
I'm sorry. Thank you. So I had this metal band in a couple of years ago over the summer tracking an album. And Vera's kind of like Rick Rubin. She'll lay there, and if it sucks, she'll like kind of stick her nose up in the air and start sniffing around. And if it's like really good, she'll jump on your lap and start licking your face. So we were tracking a guitar solo on this song, and the song was awesome. And the guitar solo was just not for the song, but worse, like the guitar player insisted it was. And they were not physically capable of playing what they wanted to do. Now, that wasn't a situation where I could have brought in a studio musician and got the job done. Of course, that would have been a possibility if you can talk the artist into that. However, the part wasn't right for the song. And after like 30-something million takes, I'm like, hey, let's try something like completely different. Just one shot, just go for it. And like, dude took a deep breath, and it was like perfect. Before I could hit save or the talk back button and be like, come in here, Vera jumps on my lap and starts licking my face, and everyone else in the control room in the band is like, oh my God, like they were literally blown away by the fact that she, I told you guys. And because of that, and she does this in like all these sessions, she's been assistant or executive producer on like 7 different albums in the last 2 years and a music video. So she's probably gonna get a Grammy before I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
So really, she's like the critic. She should have like her own column in it, you know.
Yes,
some
absolutely.
kind of like magazine review column.
I feel like that's a carbon monoxide. Maybe it's a carbon monoxide detector.
Aren't you a firefighter? Shouldn't you be taking?
That would explain the lightheadedness. Yeah. Wait. All right, it stopped.
Oh, it stopped.
Right.
Okay. Someone was in the room waving a towel over under the smoke detector.
Ma, when you make toast, you gotta set the timer.
Ma, the meatloaf.
My mom makes great meatloaf.
I never know what she's doing back there.
It's been a while, though.
It's been a while since the meatloaf. What have you been cooking, today? I was going to say lately, but you're always cooking.
I have not cooked in like 2 weeks.
What?
It's been a while.
How do you eat? No.
No, I've been like real simple lately. The coronavirus has taken its toll in the area. And it's weird. Like I've gone like an entire year being like super careful and not getting it. And I got it recently, and I'm at the end of my quarantine now, and I feel a lot better, but like, it's just been nuts. So
yeah, for you to not be like cooking like crazy is definitely something.
But you are doing a cooking contest.
Ooh.
Yes, I am. So Favorite Chef is hosting a contest right now.
The link is in the description. Make sure you vote.
Yes, please.
Vote for Rob.
So this is for a chance at a write-up in Bon Appetit magazine, which would be ridiculously huge, and then some ridiculous amount of money, which is also awesome. So the biggest thing with that, though, is that all the donations go directly to Feeding America, which is an amazing cause. And part of why I signed up for the whole thing to begin with. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I've seen so many of those, like, help me be in Maxim magazine or help me be on Inked Mag. And like all of these people half naked with tattoos, like, vote for me. Oh my God. And I'm over here like, this is kind of a joke. And, my mom's a sweetheart, and she just signed me up, and she's like, I don't have any pictures. You have to put the pictures up. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm thinking like it's a scam, like whatever. And I like looked into it, and it's legit. Posted up a bunch of my food pictures. And I mean, I feel like I give people the occasional culinary boner with my food porn. So, I mean, if I have, like, you owe me a Valentine or at least a vote. You know, like that's so, and it's been a couple weeks that this competition's been going on. Like it's like 6 days of voting and then a day off, and then it goes to the next round. So everybody started in groups of like 30 something people. So the groups thing is done, and now we're in the quarterfinals. And I think currently I'm in like 8th or 9th in the whole thing. So I have to get into, I think, probably like the top 3 to get into the semifinals. And then it's down, after the semifinals, it's down to 4 people, and like that's it. So there's 3 weeks of this competition left. Like I did not expect to even get this far, like at all. Apparently people like pictures of my food more than they like pictures of friends of mine on Facebook who have nice tattoos. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's that feels good. But the whole thing with that is, as I was saying earlier, is I'm actually looking to do some cooking tutorial videos, because I'm from a place where, kind of like Ratatouille, like everybody can cook. You know what I'm talking about, Mel. Everybody can do it. It's just a matter of like knowing the right techniques. And I'm a huge advocate of, even on Food Network, there is so much misinformation on like how to do things. And sometimes they make it seem like, oh, it's like just to make it look really impressive. But like you can do great things with food with little money, with little experience. Like you just have to like learn some of the techniques and the basics and know like what you're shooting for. You know,
and you have to get a tofu press.
Food is art, but it's not a Bob Ross painting where you can just be like, we're going to do whatever we want. You know what I mean? Like if you have those brush techniques, absolutely, it's going to come out looking like a Bob Ross painting. But anybody who's tried and didn't actually follow his techniques, it's like, you know, you try to make an omelet, and if you can't flip it, you got scrambled eggs at least. That's awesome.
Guilty.
But it's not what you're shooting for. And I think the discouragement in not succeeding over something like that is a big issue in why people are so afraid to cook for themselves. So I can't tell you how many times I see people in like local forums and stuff, and they're like, hey, where's a good steak restaurant in town? And I'm like, instead of spending $400 on a steak dinner, like you can go to your local butcher, still supporting local business, because I'm not about like shunning restaurants or whatever, but like you're going to have the best steak of your life if you make it yourself. It's not going to be overdone or underdone because you're the one doing it. And if you know what to look for and how to pay attention to those things, you're going to cook that steak properly every time, and it's going to be amazing. And honestly, like I swear to you, like if you have a thermometer and you can read numbers, you're not going to screw it up. So like, you know, but it's getting out that information to people, and it's difficult because like when you just have a Facebook page, it's like, well, who the hell are you? You know, but when you have like a huge brand like Bon Appetit to say, well, check this guy out, you know, and then you've got some funding to buy like decent camera equipment, which is ridiculously expensive. Even lighting, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I have to say, you have definitely inspired me to start experimenting with cooking. That's been like
you're
my hobby this
like
quarantine.
Fiend right
I know.
Now. It's amazing.
I have not done well with cooking this quarantine.
Well, we're gonna change that.
Even
like, actually, you know what? I did make a lasagna the other night, and I didn't do bad. But I called my mother, who was literally like, "I don't think you should try that." Because she like knows my. I was like, "Is that above my skill set?" She's like, "Yeah."
I mean, lasagna's not hard.
It wasn't, and I did okay, and it was fine. It tasted fine.
No, it's just a matter of like getting everything ready and prepped, and then putting it together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. However, my mushroom burger fiasco was like a week-long scenario.
What
that was
not.
Well,
I'm curious.
The vegetables were too wet, so I had made all this, I made way too much. So it was only supposed to be like 5 patties. I ended up with 12. And so I put them in the freezer. I tried to cook one, it just fell apart. And then I unfroze all of them, put them back in a bowl, added more breadcrumbs, refroze them, and then tried to eat another one. So that was the end of those.
Okay.
And that was my fiasco with those. So those aren't going to be made ever again.
But see, that's the discouragement. Like you learn. All right. Let me ask you this though. Did you figure out why they fell apart?
Because they were wet.
They were too wet, right?
They were too wet. Too
so
moist,
if you were to do this
and I don't
again,
like that word.
If you were to do this again, you would know to try out your vegetables a little more, right?
Yeah, and I thought I did. Guess not.
So, pro tip, when you're making veggie patties, you can actually like roast the veggies in the oven first, and that gets rid of your moisture. So now you have something new to try, and I guarantee you when it comes out a little bit better, instead of feeling discouraged, you're going to be like, all right, now I need to figure out why this is happening, and you move forward to the next thing.
I just don't like how long everything takes.
Yeah. I mean,
I just want it to be like quick in the oven or in the microwave's my friend. I've been using it less. I've been all about the air fryer, which there's still little problems there, but I've been doing a little bit better.
Well, air fryer's definitely a step up from microwave.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I'm not like Mel and I tried doing some cooking on live Instagram, if you saw that debauchery. But Mel's way better at it. So I would come out and be like, here's my lump of omelet. And she's got like 8 plates like made out like nicely. And I'm like, okay, here's my lump of eggs. Or our 3-hour crepes. I mean, we tried. Which again, Mel had like a whole display in her kitchen, and I'm like clumped them all on one plate, and I'm like, here's my dumpster crepes.
You know, like the garbage plate. Like
yes.
Up in where is it, Syracuse, that they do that? They just like
yes, oh my god,
the garbage plate.
Yeah, I'm completely a garbage plate. That's what I am.
Garbage plates have their place.
Yeah, they do,
and they can be delicious. So. I guess, maybe cooking is a little bit more like Bob Ross than I thought. It's okay to have happy accidents.
There's no happy little trees, happy little accidents.
Yeah.
Just add a little hot sauce.
Hot sauce makes everything fine. So maybe soon we'll release the redeeming egg video that Rob and I made together. He actually taught me how to make eggs. And how to properly cook an omelet and not just have, the bottom cooked and then you try to flip it and it just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
So we filmed some stuff, and maybe we'll put that up for you guys soon.
I tried to follow Gordon Ramsay because I thought it'd be fun because he's very crazy I was like, let me just go for it, and it was like so like fiasco, and he was cursing and yelling, and it was a whole.
That's so funny.
Well, you totally changed my life with the tofu technique. I had no idea.
Right?
I had no idea you had to squeeze the water out of tofu. I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't coming out right when I made it. Life-changing. Life-changing. Too wet.
Yeah.
I don't like the word moist.
Water is the enemy of things staying together.
Yeah, we know. Maybe you have to press your mushrooms.
Yeah.
I tried with a paper towel and a strainer. It was a whole smushing There was a whole smush process.
Did Bruce help you smush it?
He did not, but he ate some carrots, so he was happy about that.
I mean, if you're feeling fancy, you could like finely chop a shallot, throw it in like a little bit of you're trying to keep it vegan, like vegan butter, olive oil, fry that, and then add your mushrooms to that. And like saute your mushrooms down, get all the water out that way. And, so pro tip, you can throw in like white or red wine and cook that down, or, veggie stock, and that'll just get all the water down, cook it down, and concentrate, and you get like this like it's called a duxelle, but it's basically a mushroom paste, and use that to make your burger patty. Like flavor overload. It's amazing.
All right, so I have a question. This is my typical thing. I just call you all the time, like, oh, I bought this random ingredient. What could I do with this? So
Absolutely. I love this game.
I bought tahini paste. What on earth do I do with it?
So much. Tahini is just ground sesame butter, basically. So it's in a lot of Mediterranean food. Most people use it as like a dressing or along with a dressing. But tahini can be used in marinades. We talked about like that peanut butter miso, right? Well, Absolutely. You can do that with like tahini as well instead of the peanut butter. Tons of different dressings, sauces. That's like they put it all over shawarma. You put tahini when you make baba ganoush. So I showed you that roasted eggplant technique. Instead of using the miso peanut butter with the roasted eggplant, just roast the eggplant with like salt and olive oil, and then you can like scoop that out of the skin when it's done because it's gonna be, and then just like mix it with tahini and you've got baba ganoush. Right. So you could do roasted garlic in that also. That'd be really good. But tahini,
now, would you use it with miso paste or instead of?
You could use it with miso paste. I would experiment. If you're making like a dressing or a marinade, I would mix it with the miso paste and maybe some like rice wine vinegar to give a little bit of acidity. And kind of go from there. Taste it, see if you need citrus, if you need salt. And it just really depends what you're working with or what you want the end result to be. But tahini is extremely versatile. And again, if you look up like any kind of like Mediterranean cooking or Middle Eastern cooking, tahini is everywhere. So it's in a lot of hummus. Some don't use it, but most do. Like I said, baba ganoush, any of those spreads. And then all of like the dressings and like condiments, if you will.
Mel
like
loves condiments.
Condiments are extremely important.
My whole fridge is just filled with condiments. There's no actual food in there. It's just
no food, just condiments.
I am a firm believer that condiments make or break a dish. 110%.
Absolutely. And hot sauce on everything.
Yep. I mean, you can have a great burger. And, you know, if you put like an amazing like burger sauce, like a fancy sauce, it's going to trump just plain ketchup every time, you know? So
I like the Hot Ones hot sauce. Do you watch Hot Ones? That
I have seen that. Yeah.
Chicken wing show.
I want to try the banana ketchup.
That doesn't sound
banana ketchup's not bad. It's sweeter than regular ketchup, but it's kind of the same but different. It's weird. Like it's sweet, but it's not sugar sweet. Like you have to try it because it's really not easy to explain at all.
Describe
If you eat it with ketchup, you're gonna be like, or like with French fries, as you would like regular ketchup, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, this tastes like ketchup with a slight banana-y difference. But it's not like an offsetting, like fruity banana-y difference. Again, this is something like check your Walmart in the ethnic aisle because I was surprised mine had it, and get you some banana ketchup because damn.
Those are my next condiments to try: tahini paste and banana ketchup. What new condiment are you gonna try, Annie? What's the condiment of the week?
I got a bunch of barbecue sauces.
There you go. Any crazy flavors? Or just different brands?
No, I think I have a few different brands. But I like the sweet honey type of ones on there. I'm more of a sweeter than I've been trying a little more hot sauce lately, but I'm not huge on like really hot stuff. Yeah. I'm also not very experimental on different flavors.
You got to try Doyle's hot sauce.
Yes. All right. Doyle has two hot sauces. He has his Made in Hell hot sauce, which is very like tomatoey in a really good way. It's almost like a thick, sexy vegan salsa. It's quite good. It's a little smoky. It's very like, and then he just released his Abominator hot sauce, which is spicy and just awesome. So
let's put on the Scoville level.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but if you go to Doyle.com, you can grab yourself some amazing hot sauce. So do that.
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
So are you? I know before I asked you what was in your cup, but you got some tea. Are you a tea drinker, coffee drinker? How do you like your hot liquids?
So I enjoy the taste of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
However, I absolutely have some kind of crazy caffeine intolerance and get like jittery, and it's just awful. So I don't really drink coffee. Like if you have me drinking coffee, it's a day for sure. So I'm just drinking some green tea with a little bit of lemon in there right now in this little Halloween mug because every day is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So
nice. So speaking of Doyle and his hot sauces, what do you do for Doyle? Tell us about that.
So I've been doing sound for Doyle live since 2018, and he's awesome. I love the band and crew. I really miss them because that 2018 tour just wrapped, I guess, 2 years ago yesterday, and it's been a while since COVID. Doyle was actually one of the bands that was going out and doing their first show of a 2.5 month tour last March. And, it sucks. Our tour manager, Richie, is in the Navy now. So he's out doing his duties and being awesome. Everyone else in the band is home doing their own musical stuff and what they can. But like, I mean, dude, it's Doyle. Like, do you expect him to work at a like Walmart or something? Like, you're crazy, And I always think that it's like, yeah, like these dudes are like rock stars and they're famous and they have money. Everybody thinks, like everybody's rich if you play music, and you don't know, and I'm not saying anything specific to his situation, but like, if you think about it, like you don't know what someone's situation is, and the money they put into going on tour and fronting a tour is like tens of thousands of dollars. And you just ate that, and now you got to wait a year to even try to recoup it. It's been more than a year.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe we'll do stuff this summer or in the fall. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's so tall.
He is. I heard a story of you guys meeting Doyle.
We were so short compared to.
Yeah. Like, I always say I'm vertically challenged, and he's like the opposite like, because I'm so little. We're like, hey, nice to meet you.
Like, I couldn't even see his face. It was like, hey, up there.
Hello. Yeah, he was up here. If you can't see this, no.
The picture has to be taken at like a special angle, like really far back. Otherwise, you only get either us or him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, though, because Doyle is like the sweetest guy in the world. And like, it's I don't know. I really do miss everybody. It's been a really long time, and that sucks,
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny though. Like he did. I wonder. It may have been the last time I saw him. Was at the last NAMM. They had like the Metal Allegiance show, and his girlfriend was singing. And he did this like surprise like thing that, I guess nobody knew he was going to be there. And he just kind of walked out on stage, and they played Last Caress. And he like literally, it's like a 1.5-minute song, and he's off the stage. And like Mike Portnoy was playing drums, and a bunch of other crazy famous metal musicians that I should probably know who the hell they are and don't. But it's NAMM. And like 1.5 minutes on and off. And I kind of like, I had just gotten off of tour with Doyle not too long before NAMM, but I had a feeling like it was going to be a little bit before I saw him again. So I'm like, let me go see Doyle. And, I had friends from Prong who I also was touring with around that time, and they were doing Dime Dash, and like Corey Taylor was there. I didn't know this, but Dave Grohl was serving up barbecue at the whole event. It was like this whole crazy thing, and I could have like made some phone calls and like been over there to do that. And I'm like, I'm gonna go see Doyle play. Like, this is gonna be cool. I don't have to work. I can just hang out, you know, see my friends. And I went, and it was a minute and a half, and he was off the stage. And I text him. I'm like, dude, like, that's it? And he goes, yeah. Let me preface this with, his makeup and hair takes like 3 hours to do. He does not go out in public, you know, especially for like music, like as himself, like without his makeup and you know, his look, right? Like, that's who he is. That's his brand. And I'm like, dude, you did 3 hours of makeup to play a minute and a half. And he just texts me back. He goes, sometimes that's the gig. And I'm like I felt that like so hard. Like, damn, dude. Okay. All right. That's cool. I mean,
in the Blackhearts, the guitar player, Dougie Needles, has the, you know, spiky hair. And it doesn't matter if we have been like 2 gigs, 24/7, 4 a.m. lobby call, his hair is done every time. You know, it's just like they do it. You know,
it's the gig.
Gotta do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
So when was the last like what was the last tour that you worked or I mean, you worked and played because you do both?
Well, the last gig I had was actually with you, Mel, for Street Drum Corps. And that was a lot of fun. It wasn't what we normally do,
not at all.
But we still got to break some shit in the middle of a theme park with a bunch of creepy makeup on. So I'm all about that all the time.
Thank God our makeup doesn't take 3 hours to put on, though.
No,
that airbrush.
Airbrushes.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yep. So I don't know if Six Flags ever used the makeup on you, but Dorney has what's called Final Seal. And it's basically just like a clear coat of airbrush that goes over your face, and it keeps your makeup on. And I guess when you wear regular makeup for like modeling and photo shoots, like they use that also. It's a very common makeup thing. I don't know anything about that shit.
We're not very good at it either.
But I do know that when you tour with Doyle, as a headliner, like you go in, your sound checks at like 1, 2 o'clock. And then you literally have from like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, whenever you're done, depending on, you know, the venue and how things move around, till like your showtime, which could be like 9:30, 10, 1 a.m., you know, to do whatever you have to get done. And a lot of times I would just, you know, take a nap before the show because I could, and that was my time to actually get like some legitimate sleep. And it was always funny to me that I knew that I could take a nap and not have to set an alarm, because you could smell the fresh mintiness of the Final Seal in the bathroom. That meant Doyle's makeup was done and it was time to get ready.
You could just spray that around sometimes, just be like, I miss the smell.
You know, it's so funny because like him and I would like sit down and like legitimately have conversations about our makeup because of the Blood Drums makeup and the stuff that and a lot of it was the same, but it was just like really interesting. And I would like ask him about his techniques because he does all of that himself. He doesn't have somebody doing it for him. Like, he's pro. He is like, if Doyle needed to not be an amazing guitar god, like he could be a makeup artist and probably make a shit ton of money. So just putting that out in the universe. But the last tour I did was with Cobra and the Lotus, opening up for Sebastian Bach. And that was an amazing run.
Another very tall man.
Dude, Sebastian is so much fun. Like,
he's great.
He is. People think like that's an act. It's not an act. That is how he is. Like, he is just that guy. It's like, man, you gotta Google that shit. Like, you know, like he's always like,
he's really nice.
He's always at that level, man. It's amazing. He's such a sweet guy. Yeah, like it's crazy.
I had his he came to a show a while ago with the Blackhearts. It was just super nice, and I had spoken to his wife and gave them my card. I said, you know, if you ever want to come to a show, blah blah. And she had messaged me in LA and said, oh, can I come to a show? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Come on. Like everyone's just so like they're all really nice. But he's so I have a picture with him too. He's like this, so tall. Like, oh, hello.
I didn't think he was that tall, but there he is.
Oh man, I'm making like a scavenger hunt now. I just want to see how many tall people we can get pictures of you with.
There you go.
I started a collection a while ago because people just thought it was funny to take pictures of me with really tall people.
That's a better concept than like hairs of Nam.
Actually, I think what was it when I'm sure do you know AC Slade?
Yes.
Right. When I was on tour with him, he thought it was so funny to take pictures of me with big things. So there has to be like a thing somewhere with like taking pictures. Hey, look, that's like, you know, like the oversized like lawn chairs you would see. He's like, oh, you got to get on that. I got to take a picture. You know,
you need to make a whole separate Instagram of just you with big things and tall people.
Annie with tall things.
That's genius.
So wait, what is this hairs of Nam thing? I haven't heard of this.
Oh, it's a hashtag, and it's literally like hairs of Nam is a hashtag of just people walking around taking candid pictures of people with ridiculous haircuts or like really bad ones at Nam.
Oh.
And it's been going on for years. It's crazy.
Gotta look this up now.
Oh, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, you could just go around like Nam just taking pictures of you with really tall people.
Mm-hmm.
Same difference. Equally entertaining. Why not?
Do palm trees count as tall things too?
Yeah. I guess so. If you can get the tree in the picture.
Oh, I'm so excited now. Every time we go on tour.
That would be so much funnier if you stood next to someone who was like really tall, but then you cut off the picture at the top of your head. So you get the whole picture.
From here up.
No, but like get the whole picture, but then also crop the picture so you've got like the original, so like people can guess who it is.
That's great.
And then you do the like reveal like a week later, like, by the way, it was this person. So it's basically like, guess who I'm with based on me next to their crotch.
I just thought of another one like that too. Because I was thinking of really tall pictures. Because like you just notice how tall someone is when you take. I found one the other with Dave Bautista, who's the wrestler and Avenger. Yeah. He's super tall, and I have a picture of him of me. Like, what?
That's hilarious. That's really good.
Here's with me and all the tall people.
Oh man! Every tour we go on from now on, I'm just gonna be searching for tall people and be like, "Excuse me, need a picture." This little short girl over here.
Can you take a picture with my short friend?
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Did you go to any of the Misfits reunion shows?
I was only home to be able to go to the show in Philly.
I went to that one.
It was really good.
I loved it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good.
AC was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was his birthday too, because they had a cake for him.
Yes, that's right. And he had the Philly like Flyers jersey and
yeah, he's from there.
Yeah.
That was a cool show.
That was a great show.
That was probably one of the last. Well, we went to NAMM then after that. I'm like, what was the last like big show I went to?
Oh man, I'm trying to remember what the last show I saw was. And it's weird because I just talked about this with someone like a couple days ago.
I can't even remember.
What's a show?
Yeah, what is a show? What's a venue? Are there any left?
Apparently there are, and they're doing some weird seated thing right now, and it's all like
dinner in a band.
Yeah.
I would love
that would be nice, actually.
That would be interesting to see, like maybe like death metal bands with people just seated.
It's weird.
Like, that's where it's gonna get weird.
Well,
it's
that was
over-
like when we opened for that Cars tribute band. Back in the day, we played at a college, and it's in the college theater. And it was 2 rock bands playing, and it's just a sea of...
everyone's
Seats.
fitted so nice.
Seated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this nice dinner in a band.
Yeah. A buddy of mine is the drum tech for Frampton. And he got me into a show in like Wilkes-Barre, PA, and it was at some old theater. And it's like all these people just sitting there, like enjoying the music.
Let me sip my tea and enjoy this rock
Like-
band.
Like this, like I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like I wanted to stand up like so bad. And I'm looking around and I'm like, everybody here is at least 20 years older than me, and they don't appreciate this nearly as much as I do. And then Frampton did a tribute to Chris Cornell, and they played Black Hole Sun. And oh man, that was like just mind blowing. And then getting to see his like gear and all, like his whole rig set up backstage, like holy shit. I would never want to be his guitar tech in a million years, but also like that is amazing. You know.
So speaking of rigs, what do you play?
Tell
us about your drum kit.
My drums are I started playing Pearl, and I have all my old original kits. I have a couple like Tama kits. I have a North kit, you know, the one that looked like giant macaronis.
Ooh.
Or tubas, depending on what color they are, I guess. Yeah, so the bottoms of the drums aren't like drum heads. They come out like horns. I have a few vintage like Kent and like Slingerland kits. And I have been with Soultone cymbals for over 15 years, however long that is now.
Nice.
Yeah. So I rep for Soultone. I'm not like.
Are you also a?
Yeah.
Are you part of their artist rep team?
Yes. So I've been an artist with them for I don't know how long, and I think probably around like 2005, maybe. And I have been repping for them for probably the last 10 years. I only take on endorsements if I like truly love a product, because it doesn't matter how good a company is. If the product sucks, like, are you really going to use it or tell somebody else to use that product with your name on it? Like, that's dumb. And even if they throw free stuff at you, like, and that's the thing too that I really notice with endorsements is like, when you get free stuff, you use it a lot less, even if it's really cool. But if you pay for something, like, you're using that shit. Like, it's gonna happen. You know, unless it sucks, and then you're like, you know, you tell the company why it sucks, and hopefully they make a better product and actually listen to you. Mm-hmm. But Soultones, I just fell in love with right off the bat. When I signed on with them, at that time, like, social media really wasn't that big of a thing. We had MySpace, but like, unless you were really into a band, you didn't know what the band members looked like, especially metal bands who didn't put their pictures on their albums and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to the Soultone headquarters in California back in the day when I signed on to pick out my cymbals originally, and I got to meet the one and only Nick Menza from Megadeth, not knowing that he was Nick Menza from Megadeth, but just this dude Nick, who was really cool. And him and I became friends, and he helped me pick out all of my cymbals. And eventually I figured out who it was, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I totally would have ruined that friendship had I been like all starstruck and like whatever. And instead we were just two people that like got along and like were into the same shit. So because of that, I'm really lucky. Nick and I actually built a couple of my drum sets together, did a couple different designs. I'd fly out to LA at the shop and we would build stuff. So the drums I use are DC California, which is a sister company of Soultone, and it's all custom with spec drums. And one of the kits that Nick and I did together, him and I went through our comic book collections, and we took all our like doubles and triples and did a bad thing and cut the covers and like adhered them to the shells and then used the same lacquer they use on Ferraris so it doesn't yellow. And under stage light, we tested things and learned from mistakes to make, because lacquer does yellow. And there's been a couple kits that we've processed. So we did that one, and then just a couple different designs, and that's pretty much what I've been using drum wise.
Nice.
I want a comic book kit.
They're cool. I actually
I'm about to make my comic snare. I gotta get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually really funny because my kit was on display for the Soultone booth one year at NAMM, and somebody was like, dude, they ripped off your kit. Go look at the Tama booth. And I'm like, what? And I'm walking over to the Tama booth, and I run into the drummer from System of a Down, like literally ran into him turning a corner. And we had met each other a few years ago at the Sabian party, and he recognized me, which was really cool. And he goes, hey, how you been? Whatever. And I'm like, man, I'm like so bummed. Like somebody like stole my drum set idea. And he goes, dude, me too. Right. He was on his way to our booth to see my kit because his kit was the one at the Tama booth. We were pissed at each other and didn't realize it. And so he's like, come here. So he showed me his kit. Now his is really cool too. They painted his drum set white. They did a prime on it. And then he actually sent the shells out to different comic book artists who drew on the shell, and then they lacquered it. The difference is he didn't use the Ferrari lacquer, and his shell started yellowing under stage lighting because he brought it on tour, so it doesn't tour anymore. Now it's a showpiece. And then I showed him mine, and they were completely different. So whoever told us to try and like piss us off they were just being jerks. But it ended up being pretty funny at the end of the day, considering. But so there are a couple different comic book kits out there. I'm not the only one. Mine is strictly Marvel, and so one of the drums is a Punisher drum specifically. One is Spider-Man. One is X-Men. The snare drum is all Hulk, and then the bass drum is a 24-inch kick, and that's a mix of all different. There were actually Star Trek and a bunch of different different brands that I didn't even realize were Marvel, that Marvel released comics for. So there's a couple like really cool rare ones on the kick drum as well. And the things, it's all buttoned up and in its cases and sitting in my studio closet right now. And I use that kit and my Pearl Master Series Birch when I do recordings between the two. But lately with COVID and just kind of being home and stuff, I got this really inexpensive Alesis electronic kit with mesh heads.
Me too.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, it doesn't have mesh heads. It's just that it's an Alesis kit.
Well, Steven Slate Drums 5.5 has a free library that you can use, and Get Good Drums has been worth like every penny for their aggressive rock kit. It's like two toms, snare, 2 crashes, a ride, a china, splash, and hi-hat, like a basic, like bare bones, right? And it sounds amazing. Like for cutting quick demos, it's basically radio ready. So to just kind of get like song ideas out, and I've been, especially in this quarantine, like the way I have my studio set up at home is like everything is plug and play and ready to go. So I've got my amps are all mic'd up and they're set in the system on specific channels. And then I've got my direct ins, and I've got, there's tons of amp plugins. So I'll do a direct line so I can go through the plugins and change it if I want to later, or send it back out. So the take is good. I send it back out through the amps and reamp everything. Antelope makes an amazing modeling mic. I mean, this thing is just absolutely incredible for the money. And so between using that and the electronic kit and like everything's pretty much in the box and like ready to go. So I can like sit down and just, I have a couple keyboards, for MIDI tracking and just like everything is right in front of me. And like literally in this chair to the drum set, like I'm ready to go.
You spin around to different instruments.
Pretty much. I'm trying to figure out. I wish I had
the room for that.
I'm trying to figure out like the angles. I got to find like the angles for like camera usage to be able to do like a loop session. You know what I mean? You like start on one instrument and then like I know people have done it a million times like on YouTube, but like it's so cool and like I know I could just like get into like a vibe and just jam something like that. There's a video on YouTube somewhere of me playing with myself, and I know that sounds weird, but it's the way the camera was set up, and I had a video editor friend of mine who was really cool, and it's me playing Interstate Love Song by Stone Temple Pilots, but it's myself on every instrument.
Nice.
So there's 4 of me on a stage. It looks like, you know, I'm playing with myself. So
awesome.
You know, that was a long time ago that I shot that, but like I've always wanted to do like more stuff like that because I'm not, you know, like I said before, just a drummer by any means. I mean, I consider myself a drummer, but like I play more guitar these days than I do drums, and it's sad, but like, you know, it's hard to write a song starting with drums. Mm-hmm. I mean, like if you're doing beats and stuff like that, like sure, that's totally different. But if you're gonna write like a rock song or like a pop hit or I don't know, even like metal stuff, country, like who starts with drums?
And you have a really good voice too, so you could do everything.
Thank you.
Do.
I appreciate that. That's so nice of you.
That was the best part of touring together. You would just like serenade us all at night, take out his guitar after the shows, start singing. We're like,
yeah, that happens sometimes. So,
I guess we're at the hour mark. Do you have anything you want to plug or anything like that?
Some websites.
I mean, just renderrecordstudio.com. Check out the studio. Like I said, everything's online. So wherever you are, wherever you're at in your project, you know, we're here to help. And that's like the main thing is I'm not just like some guy that owns a recording studio that wants to come pay me by the hour to like get your shit done. Like it's about learning the process to get the best quality product you can get. So that's what Render Record's all about. Come see us over there and vote for me with the food stuff at Fave Chef because
yes,
I can't believe I got that far in this competition. Like
the
every
link
now and then
is in the comments section. Everyone click and vote for Rob.
Click, click, click.
Nice.
All right. So
there's the comments section. I just found it.
Yay!
Yay!
So we like to put everyone on the spot at the end of our chats. We'd love for you to leave us off with a positive note for everyone watching this, everyone in the chat. What is your way of staying positive in all these crazy times?
Ooh. I feel like I have to quote Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is my secret is I'm never positive.
Oh.
I'm never angry.
Yes. Yeah, I had to take it into the concept.
Or, no, wait, that's a secret. He's always angry.
Yeah. That's, how do you say so positive? I don't.
I don't.
Well, there you go. All right. Let's embrace it.
Have a miserable evening, everyone.
Cheers to that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And everyone go vote for Rob in the chef competition. Click on that link in the comments and go check out Rent a Record.
Yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. Happy Monday. Have a good week, and thanks for joining us.
Have a miserable
week. Thank you for
having
me.
Have a day.
Look, if you plan that your week's probably not going to be that great and something good happens, it's going to be that much better.
There you go.
That's pretty much how I live my life.
Rather be
low
pleasantly
expectations,
surprised.
high results.
Yeah.
There you go.
That sounds like a Deadpool quote too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.